This is the story of the Poppy Playtime secret base for Chapter 3. Now I know most of you are all excited about Chapter 3, and that's why in today's video we get into what is possibly the most recent discovery of a recent Chapter 3 leak, located somewhere within this Minecraft world. As you know, I explore secret bases all the time, but this one was something special. We actually managed to learn a decent amount about the new Chapter 3 being released sometime later this year or next year by Mob Games, and my gosh, was it absolutely amazing. So of course, this was the world that I spawned in, and that was the signal I needed to know that I was on the right track to find the secret base. Of course, I was super excited, so I just ran over to this secret base and started asking a bunch of questions. Of course, one of the characters that you can already see is Huggy, a prominent character, and of course the main character in the Huggy series. And I was pretty skeptical. I was looking around to see if there were any dangerous people nearby, but luckily it was just Huggy and his friendly team. Now of course, Mummy Longlegs was there as well to greet me, as well as Poppy Playtime herself. Definitely a very interesting mix for the Season 3 or Chapter 3 release that you would be talking about. Now of course, I decided to ask them questions to see if they knew anything about this Chapter 3, and it was something quite interesting because boy, did they know a decent amount. So I guess you could say I asked Mummy Longlegs and I asked Poppy Playtime and I did ask Huggy, but the one that gave me the most information was in fact Huggy. He said there is a big secret inside the secret base, and that's honestly what I was expecting, considering Chapter 3 was being released very soon, or at least whenever it comes soon. We don't know just yet, but that was the only information I got. Mummy Longlegs on the other hand said yes, there is a gas mask inside the secret base, which is something that we knew and something that we definitely wanted to hear. So of course I was eager to get inside, but I did have to ask the last person, Poppy Playtime, and she said they say Season 3 will be the biggest. Now of course I'm excited for Season 3 because whatever is inside Season 3 is definitely going to be absolutely entertaining, and I guess it's going to be thrill-seeking according to many different sources. So it was time for me to finally bid my farewells, say goodbye to the team, and enter the secret base. Now, I didn't know what I was going to experience, but nonetheless, it was definitely very entertaining. So, of course, I decided to close the secret base to ensure no intruders could get in, and this was where we had our first experience. All I did was I jumped straight down, and I was into some sort of water compartment, luckily, because if I was anywhere else, I most certainly would have hit something or someone and gotten myself into a whole load of trouble. Now that I was here, I was wondering exactly what was going on, so I decided to take a quick look around the secret base. I noticed that there was one other familiar character that you are likely to know and you are likely to share a friend with, and that was Pugapillo. Of course, I didn't firstly bump into him, but I could hear his voice somewhere nearby. I did try opening chests and seeing if I could find any of these crazy secrets, but at the start, it was very hard. Now, when going over to Pugapillo, he did seem to be quite friendly, but he also told me not to do something that I did do. He said, you do not follow the path, you should not trust it. And of course, I went against my best interest and everyone's best interest to completely follow that path to see what kind of secrets lied in. And trust me when I tell you, what we found out was truly amazing. So the path was actually made out of redstone, and you know, it was pretty simple. All we had to do was just follow the path all the way around to where it was located. Now, this redstone path was good because it actually led me to my next finding and my next character, which was also someone you all know, and that character was Bonzo Bunny. So what I did was I walked over to Bonzo Bunny myself and I followed the redstone, which was actually down a ladder, which was quite scary because I didn't know where I was going to be, but there he was, Bonzo Bunny, and he had some really good information for me. He actually said something that was good. So as you're gonna see, I actually managed to go up to him. Of course, I looked left and right because the secret base was definitely made out of a lot of stuff and definitely very interesting. We had 2 TVs, which was amazing, and he said I could watch the secret release of the trailer right now, or a secret sneak peek into the future gameplay of Chapter 3. So that's exactly what I did. I sat down, the TV enlarged, and there it was. It was playing on the big screen. It did take a couple of seconds, but eventually, there it was. We could see Chapter 3, or Season 3, whatever you want to call it, slowly being loaded onto our screen. Now, of course, we could see Huggy. Then, of course, we could see the famed Mummy Longlegs, which looked like she died from the ending of Chapter 2. which was unfortunate. We could see the other character on the right, and then there it was. In all its glory, we managed to find the gas mask. Now, of course, nobody knows exactly what the gas mask is doing, but this was an exclusive viewing from Bonzo Bunny himself, and that was good for us because now we knew exactly what was going to happen. We knew that the gas mask was clearly a new amazing character that was going to be somehow in chapter 3, and I was ready for everything that it brought. As you can see, it does say 2023, but we do know sometimes these releases do come out earlier than others. So I was still interested on what the secret base had to offer, because it wasn't just the secret base that contained many different secrets. There were also different things located within the secret base that led to us finding out even more about chapter 3, and that's what this exploration was all about. So of course, as I made my way into different parts of the secret base, some were actually restricted access, and that posed serious problems. You see, when you enter an area in restricted access, you definitely come up against some sort of resistance, and in this scenario it was in the form of some guards. You'll see shortly how I managed to fight my way through hordes of guards and luckily get to unveiling and getting a sneak peek of the actual gas mask protagonist. It's definitely quite crazy, it's definitely quite insane, but it was worth it. So you see the redstone right here, there was a ladder located underneath, and of course all I did was jump down, and that's when 4 guards simply attacked me. See, I wasn't supposed to be in that restricted area, but I didn't really care because I wanted to find out exactly what the secret was. So I had to quickly destroy these guards as quick as possible. It was definitely quite hard to do. I'm not going to walk you through the entire process, but it was something that I knew I should probably have more resources if I was going to ever do it again. But luckily these guards didn't have any weapons that fired straight at me. So after fighting them for around 20 minutes, unfortunately, I came across another second set of guards, and this was at a different vault location. This was unfortunate because by this time I thought I'd defeated all of them and I'd got into the vault. But these guards weren't exactly smart. You see, they could have just jumped through the vault and straight up attacked me, but they didn't. They decided to defend their ground and just simply stand there. So luckily for me, I was able to keep hitting them from a distance, and eventually, one by one, they simply started to fall. And if you can see on the right hand side there, these Poppy Playtime characters were somehow in there. These gas mask figurines were somehow just chilling there, not doing anything. Eventually, I managed to destroy the guards, and that's when I began to explore. I quickly ate my golden apple and realized that there were many different characters. In fact, there were 3 different forms. There was one that was simply just a gas mask by himself, which is quite interesting considering it was in a closed environment, meaning that somehow it was filtering out the oxygen and living a great life. The second one, which was a fully blown Poppy Playtime character, which is one of the first ever showings of what the character will look like. The third was one that was somehow infected, which shows us that there might be some kind of infected variant, which is super interesting, and that's something that I definitely want to see. And the other one was just the standard character, a character just like you and me. He was just there with his gas mask on and didn't really seem to do much until I prodded him, and then of course he simply attacked me. And the same thing went for the taller character, which simply resembled an Enderman, but I'm guessing he had the long limbs that resembled Huggy, so maybe he was a brother of Huggy. Somehow didn't involve him take in the fumes, but eventually I did just manage to dismantle him because he did decide to attack me, and of course I didn't want to